And on the subject of TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, this so-called trade deal that is being negotiated between the European Union and the United States, where does the SNP stand on TTIP?
Well, let's say in principle terms, there's nothing wrong with trade agreements in general. However, this trade agreement and the ability of multinationals perhaps to take governments or public bodies to court, we are incredibly anxious about. So there's a couple of key things. We want exclusion written into the face of the bill for the NHS, for Scottish Water, and for our public services. We don't accept the broad guarantees which have been given so far, and there must be specific protection written on to the face of the bill before we would be prepared to countenance that.
Another part of TTIP, which our members are concerned about, is the ISDS mechanism, the mechanism whereby corporations would be given a separate legal system through which they could sue governments. Where does the SNP stand on ISDS?
It's ridiculous that corporations can sue governments through a different legislative or a different legal regime. If a government or a public body needs to be taken to court, it has to be taken to court through the existing judicial structures. But it shouldn't be because a business isn't allowed to make a profit on the back of a public service, and that's the key point.
So there's a sudden flurry of interest around this question. So people are asking me just to clarify. So
I couldn't be clearer.
Well, I think our members feel you could. So if SNP MPs in Scotland were, SNP MPs down in Westminster were given a vote on a TTIP deal which included ISDS, you would vote against?
Yes, we couldn't support that because that's precisely the issue. The public bodies or governments can be taken to court simply because these bodies can't be allowed to make a profit on the back of a public service. We've said we want specific exclusions on the face of the bill, and in the absence, we simply couldn't support it.
I think that's pretty clear. I'm just looking to see if people agree. Yes, okay. So we've clarified on TTIP, exclusion of public services and ISDS as, I think it's probably fair to use the word red lines describing those.
Well, we certainly couldn't support a trade agreement which had those provisions. That would be impossible.
Great. I am aware that I was told that we only had 5 minutes to go 6 minutes ago, that probably means it's time to draw things to a close. So it only remains for me to say thank you very much to everyone who's been firing in the questions as we've been going along, and who submitted questions in advance. I hope I've managed to, if not ask your specific question, ask a question on your theme. I've definitely been slightly overwhelmed by the volume, but I think we have covered quite a lot of ground. I hope this has been useful as well, and that this video is something that you might want to share with friends who you have conversations with the SNP about. Just in general, you see this as an antidote or an alternative source of information to some of the more lurid accounts of the Scottish National Party that have been made available via media outlets like the Daily Mail. Finally, I should thank Stewart Hosie of the Scottish National Party, Deputy Leader of the Scottish National Party, for joining us here today. I've certainly found it a very interesting discussion. I hope you've
It's fantastic, and happy to do it.
Okay, thanks.